Yo, what's up guys? In today's video I'm going to share the top 25 best ways to make money as a solo player in GTA 5 Online. It's then up to you and choose which methods you think are the best to do, and keep in mind that you can do all these methods in an invite only session. Now let's get right into it. For the first method we will use the new access weapon delivery mission. You can find this truck inside your bunker, then register as a CEO, VIP or MC and press right on the D-pad to deliver it. It's a really simple mission, just drive to the yellow destination and you may encounter some enemies. When you have delivered it, you will get $150,000, but that's because it's a first time bonus. The next time that you do this mission, the payout will be $50,000. The second method is in your motorcycle clubhouse. Go to the bar and press left on the D-pad to resupply the bar. Then you will need to collect a van with goods and drive it back to your clubhouse while you are getting attacked by some bikers. This will give you 30k and you can collect more money over time from the bar earnings. The third method is also in your clubhouse. Just like with the auto shop, bikes will get delivered to your clubhouse. You have to modify it for the customer and then sell it. For this mission I also got 150k cause it's my first time doing it, but after this it will be around 60 or 70k. Next up are missions. This is pretty straightforward, but keep an eye out for missions that are double and triple money. For example, a while ago the paper trail missions were triple money and I got over $60,000 for each mission. Moving on to the next method, register as a CEO or VIP. Then go to VIP work and start Headhunter, that's my personal favorite. You can also start Sightseer, Assets Recovery or Hostile Takeover. The grayed out missions aren't available in invite only sessions. For this VIP mission you just have to eliminate 4 targets. 2 moving targets and 2 targets that are standing still. Also start it in the city, otherwise the targets will be really far apart. You get around $20,000 for these missions. I got 41k because that week it was double money. Next up are all the time trials. You have the HSW time trial, this is only available for next gen and you need the HSW vehicle. You will get $250,000 for completing it. Now the time trials that are available on all platforms. The normal time trial pays out a little over 100k. Then you have the RC Bandito time trial, you need a RC Bandito for this one of course, and you have the Junk Energy time trial, these two pay out $51,000. So with all the time trials you can make around $450,000 in like 20 minutes. You can only do them once. I believe the HSW time trial refreshes once per week and the others every day. I'm not sure, but let me know in the comments. I have a quick tip to always make it in time. First start a time trial, then set a waypoint on the yellow destination. You will just need to follow the purple line and you will easily make it in time. Now respawn by holding triangle or Y and then start it again. I still have 30 seconds on the timer and I'm already here. Next up are event weeks, these refresh every Thursday. This is an underrated method because you can make some great money and it's fun. Keep an eye out for adversary modes being double or triple money. To make the most amount of money with adversary modes you of course have to win, but you also need a full lobby and if the job takes longer you will get more money. One of my favorite event weeks is when free mode challenges are double money, especially for criminal damage. If you win you get $140,000. This is another underrated method, the flight school. It's located over here. If you never played it before you definitely have to give it a try. You get a nice amount of money and your flying stat will nearly max out. So enter the flight school and then start the first lesson. You have to complete them all with gold medals, so complete it under a specific time to get the most amount of money. The payout for each flight school lesson differs. Harder ones usually pay out around 40k and easier ones between 10 and 20k. There are 10 lessons in total, so you will receive a total of $232,500. Next up, we have different passive incomes. We will start with the best one, the nightclub. I can make a whole video on how all these businesses work, so let me know if you want to see that. As you can see, I have 81k in my safe. You can find your safe in your nightclub office and then just press right on the D-pad to open it. You can also see that my popularity is 0. We will need to max it out. To do that, go to your computer. then do nightclub management and promote your club. These missions vary from retrieving supplies to even spreading posters. They are pretty easy and they only take about 10 minutes. When you completed the mission, your nightclub popularity level will increase. It will increase by a little over 1 bar each time, so you will need to do a few missions to max it out. Also keep an eye out for blue dots on your minimap. These are troublemakers in your nightclub and you will need to kick them out of your nightclub. You will get some cash and RP when you do that and your popularity level will also increase. So mine is now maxed out, which means that I will get $50,000 passively every 48 minutes, so 1 in-game day in GTA. As long as my nightclub popularity level stays full, I will get 50k every GTA day. The second one is in your arcade. My arcade save is actually full, so I will collect all the money and see how much I will get. You can also see that it said that I get no more daily earnings till I collect the money, so make sure you check all your saves once in a while. So mine is completely full and I got 100k. That's pretty good for passive income. So you will get $5,000 every 48 minutes and you don't have to do anything. You also have arcade games which make you some money, but they don't increase your passive income. It will also take you ages to get the money back that you invested in these arcade games, so only buy them if you are rich. The next one is actually fairly new. This was added in the summer update and it's the MC Clubhouse passive income that you can find in here. To get this going, you will first need to go to your bar. Then press left on the D-pad to start a bar resupply mission. You will need to collect a van and drive it back to your clubhouse. Try to keep the supply bar as high as possible, but be careful, you will get chased by bikers and they will try to destroy the van. You can easily get them off your back by shooting them, because when you shoot them, they will just fall off their bike. When you delivered it, you will get 10k and now you will get $5,000 every 48 minutes IRL. This will last 4 in-game days, so 4 times 48 minutes, that's more than 3 hours and you will get 20k in total. After the 4 days, just do another bar resupply mission and it will be active for another 4 in-game days. Now we will move on to the agency. To get a lot of passive income out of this one, you will need to grind a lot. So you can find the save in here and mine is empty unfortunately. That's because I never played any contract missions. If you didn't complete any contract missions, you will only get 1k every 48 minutes. I did play a lot of contract missions on my other account and here you can see that I have 44k. I got this in like 3 or 4 in-game days. So what you will need to do to increase your passive income is sit down in a chair, log in and then go to one of these security contracts. You have different levels as in difficulty and each one gives you different payouts depending on the level, so just choose the contract that pays the most. These missions are not that hard and you can even do them in an invite only session. So to max out your passive income for the agency, you will need to play 200 security contracts. I know that's a lot, you don't have to max it out, but I think that each 10 that you play increases your save money. If you play 200 of these contract missions, you will get 20k every 48 minutes, so every in-game day. That's quite a lot, but like I said, you will need to play 200 missions first. By playing 200 missions, your save capacity will also increase to 250k. The last one is a semi-passive income. We will first need to go to our special cargo warehouse. So recently they added this person in your warehouse staff. Walk up to this person and press right on the D-pad. Then tell him to source special cargo for $7,500. You will easily make this back when you sell the crates. Now you will need to wait 1 in-game day, so 48 minutes in real life till he's back. He will come back with either 1, 2 or 3 crates, it just depends if you are lucky. So it's been 48 minutes and he's back in my warehouse, so let's see what he got for me. He came back with 2 crates, that's pretty good, and it sells for 44k. You can also do these sell missions in an invite only session, so it should be easy. You also have different sized warehouses. You can see it in your office if you go to your computer and then to special cargo. So there's a small, medium and large warehouse. In a small warehouse you can store 16 crates, in a medium warehouse 42 crates, and in a large one you can store 111 crates. So just keep repeating all of these methods and you'll get a lot of passive income. Now we will look at the bunker. The way the business works is you first either steal or buy supplies for the bunker. Over time, workers at the bunker will turn those supplies into product, which you can then sell on for a profit. Now, in order to make the most amount of money possible with the bunker, you will need to have the equipment and staff upgrade. You can then purchase supplies for $75,000. Once you do that, it will take about 2.5 hours to turn that $75,000 worth of supplies into $210,000 worth of product. As a solo player, it's best to sell after that one round of supplies turns into product, because for that sell mission you will always be guaranteed one sell vehicle. If you let the product build any more than that, you will most likely have more sell vehicles, and sometimes completing the sell mission will not be possible. Now of course, if you were to sell at $210,000 and you spent $75,000 purchasing supplies, that means that you made $135,000 in profit in about 2.5 hours, meaning that you're making about $54,000 per hour from this business. Next up, we have the Cluckin Bell farm rate. First go to the V on your map. You can press square X on it if you want to get a call from Vincent and listen to what he has to say. I highly recommend using the Vigilante, so this vehicle, because it will make all the setups a lot easier. We will use this one because in the mission you can't use vehicles like an Oppressor or the Luxo. So now go to the yellow circle and start it. There are 5 setups that you have to complete and then you can start the finale. The best thing about this money making method is that you don't have to invest any money. You don't get any money for these setups, but you will make a lot in the finale. Also, a tip to complete the setups faster is to set your spawn location to a property close to the V on the map. I spawned in my office, but this is the best one to use, an agency. This saves you a lot of time. So I completed all the setups and now I can start the finale. There are 2 different ways you can complete this. You can do it stealthily or go all in. You decide that when doing the setup where you choose your weapons and equipment. So this also has good replayability because you can do it in different ways. I completed all the setups plus the finale within an hour. You will receive $500,000 for this. For an hour time, that's great money. If it's your first time completing the Cluckin Bell farm rate, you will get another $250,000. The only downside with this method is that there's a 1 hour cooldown before you can start it again. Coming in at number 10 is the new bill office from the bottom dollar bounties update. To start, press right on the D-pad to register as a boss and then you can access the bill enforcement system. Here you will see 4 different bounty targets, 3 blue targets, these are normal targets, and 1 red target, this is a most wanted target. So the normal bounties pay around $40,000. These targets will refresh every hour in real life. That's if you already completed all 3 targets. If you still have to complete a couple targets, it won't refresh yet. Start any of these bounty missions. Now I went all the way to Paleto Bay with the bill enforcement van, but you can just go with a helicopter or any vehicle. When you're at the target's location, be careful when you're shooting at all the enemies because you may end up killing the target. So here I found the target, now you have to disarm the target. You can do this by grabbing a stun gun and tasing the target, or if you don't have a stun gun, shoot the target in their hand. Then walk up to the target and press right on the D-pad to secure the target. You can also eliminate the target, but then your bounty value will go down a bunch, like over 50%. You will then throw the target in the van and from here you will need to drive back to your bill office. When you're here, drive inside the garage. So that's how you complete normal bounty targets. You won't get paid right away. I'm not sure how long it takes, but I think like 15 minutes. Now on to the next feature, these agents. You can go up to them and press right on the D-pad to assign them to do work for you. This will earn additional income that will be stored in your safe. It will take 48 minutes IRL or 1 in-game day for them to do the work. You can then assign them again, so that's how you can fill up your safe. This is also a passive income business, just like in the salvage yard. This is how the most wanted targets work. This bounty target will refresh once every IRL day. It's the most rewarding bounty, it will pay anywhere between $120,000 and $140,000. This target is a mission, so not a free mode. For some of these targets, extra cash will lay around, like a duffel bag or artwork, so grab them to make some more money. When you are securing the bounty target, you will need to be really careful. I accidentally locked onto the target and shot her. It went from $129,000 to $32,000, so that's a huge difference. I restarted the mission and this time it won't happen. So tase or shoot the target in their hand. Now take the target back to the bill office. With the bill enforcement office you can make between $220,000 and $280,000 in the first hour every day. That's because you can only do the most wanted target once per day. That's where we make the most amount of money, so if that one isn't available you're only making about $150,000 per hour. So I do suggest making this part of your daily money making routine, but don't really grind it. Here I also receive money from my safe. Coming in at the number 9 spot is the CEO special cargo business. The way it works is you have a cargo crate warehouse. Once you have that, you are then able to do source missions where you either steal 1, 2 or 3 crates. You bring them back to the warehouse and then you can sell them off for a profit. In order to run the business you will need a CEO office and of course get a separate warehouse. You can own up to 3 warehouses and there's 3 different sizes that you can purchase. Small, medium and large. Depending on the size it will dictate how many crates you can hold in each, and of course the price per warehouse will increase the bigger it is. Now to make the most amount of money with the business you will want to always source 3 crates at a time. Sometimes it will give you 1 vehicle, sometimes you will have to pick up all 3 individually, but that is the most efficient way to do it. Now when it comes to selling the crates, depending on how many crates you are selling at a time, it will dictate how many sell vehicles you have, but as a solo player you are able to complete a sell mission with 3 vehicles. I always recommend selling your cargo warehouse when it's completely full, because when your warehouse is full you will receive the most amount of money per cargo crate versus if you were to sell less crates. Now if you run the business really efficiently and you do the source missions quickly, you can make a few $100,000 per hour, which is great money, but of course it's not the best money method out there. At the number 8 spot we have the other CEO business in the game, which is vehicle cargo. This one is very similar to the special cargo business, except this time instead of stealing crates you are stealing luxury vehicles which you can then bring back to the warehouse. You will then modify them and from there you can sell the cars for a profit. Once again you will need to own a CEO office and a vehicle cargo warehouse to run the business. Once you have got that you are ready to go. Now like I said, the way the business works is we are stealing luxury cars to sell for a profit, but there are 3 different tiers of luxury cars you can source. When you run a source mission there are standard, mid-range and top-range cars, with of course top range paying out the most and being the one that you want to source the most often. Now in order to make the most amount of money with this business you are going to want to only sell top-range cars. Once you get more and more standard and mid-range cars and you don't sell them, you will have a higher chance of getting a top-range car. When you go to sell them, make sure you sell them for the most amount possible. There are 3 different options to sell. Selling to the specialist buyer will require you to mod the vehicle and pay $20,000, but you are making the most amount of money so it's completely worth it. With that being said, if you go and sell a top range vehicle for the most amount of money possible, which is $100,000, and you end up paying $20,000 to mod it, that means that you can net out $80,000 for one top range vehicle. Now you can roughly do this every 20 to 25 minutes, so you can sell about 3 cars per hour, making you $240,000, but there's one catch, and that is because we are dealing with luxury vehicles. If you happen to crash it or take any damages while sourcing the vehicle or selling the vehicle, those will be deducted from your total. So in order to make the most amount of money possible, you will have to be as careful as you can when driving the car. So $240,000 per hour is a decent chunk of money, but if you want to take it one step further, you can sell the car in a public lobby with 25 or more players that will give you a 50% high demand bonus, meaning that you could then sell the car for $150,000, netting $130k. If you do that 3 times per hour, that's $390,000, and because the sell missions are pretty simple, where you're just driving to a buyer on the other side of the map, earning that $390,000 isn't that far-fetched, which is why it's in the top 10 list, but the reason why it's at number 8 is because you have to do so many sell missions. During your source and sell missions, you could have money deducted from your profit, simply by running into another car or actually another car running into you. So it's a great way to make money, but the amount of money you could make varies, which is why it's lower on the list. Coming in at number 7 is the asset lab. The way the business works is you either steal or purchase supplies. You bring them back to the lab, and then after some time those supplies are turned into product, which you can then sell on for a profit. In order to purchase the asset lab, you will first have to do the first dose mission storyline. There's 6 missions in total. Once you have done that, you could then purchase the business for $750,000. Now in order to make the most amount of money with the business, you will have to get the equipment upgraded for $250,000. But first you will have to unlock it. The way to do that is to do 10 Fooligan missions. You can start them if you go to Dex inside the freak shop or call him and request a Fooligan mission. Unfortunately, there is a cooldown timer of 48 minutes between these Fooligan missions. Once you have done that, you can then call up Mod or talk to him at the Asset Lab. Purchase supplies for $60,000 and after 1.6 batches of supplies you will have a fully stocked Asset Lab, which you could then sell on for $335,000. If you decide to do that, you will be making about $60,000 to $70,000 per hour in profit, but if you want to make some extra money you can sell in a public lobby. If it's a session with 25 or more players, that will give you a 50% high demand bonus. I believe that every player gives a 2% bonus and it's capped at 50%, which means that the highest bonus is in a 25 players public lobby. To get another 5% bonus you will need to rename your Asset Lab. You can do that via your interaction menu. That will bring it up to $500,000 as your final sale, and this is completely doable because you're only ever guaranteed one sell vehicle. If you choose to go that road you will be making $100,000 per hour. That's the way I suggest to do it, and that is the reason why it's in the number 7 spot. It's a fairly passive business and it earns you about $100,000 per hour, which is really good. In the number 6 spot we have Payphone hits. These are simply assassination missions where you have one or multiple targets to take out. To unlock Payphone hits you will need to have the agency and then complete 3 security contracts. Once that's done you can go Franklin at any time and request one. If you take the targets out while completing a specific bonus you will earn $85,000. Without the bonus you will only be making $15,000, so it's essential that you complete the bonus. You can see what you have to do in order to get the bonus if you press right on the D-pad. Now these missions usually take about 5 to 10 minutes, so they are very quick to do, which is the main reason why they are on the list. The cooldown time for them has increased from 20 minutes to 48 minutes, meaning you could only really do one of them every single hour. Even though that's a pretty huge nerf, you can still make $85,000 in 5 minutes, so it still deserves a top 10 spot. Coming in at the number 5 spot is the nightclub, which is the best passive income business in the entire game. There are 2 different ways to make money with this business, with the first one being through the nightclub wall save. This is a save that has a set amount of money deposited into it every in-game day or 48 minutes IRL, depending on how popular your nightclub is. There are a few different ways to increase the popularity of the nightclub, but the 2 best are to throw out disturbances in the nightclub, which will pop up as a blue dot on your minimap, and the second way is to change DJs. When you change the DJ of your nightclub, your popularity will increase, so that's the first way to make money. The second way to make money is a little bit more complicated, but it is the bread and butter of this business, and that is through the warehouse. The warehouse is a section where you are able to hire and assign technicians to source products. When they source that product, it will then build up in the warehouse, and whenever you want you can sell that product for a profit. Now in order to make the most amount of money with it, you will want to of course hire all 5 technicians, which will cost a decent amount of money, and you will want to assign them to 5 specific types of product. But there's one catch for the warehouse, and that is if you want to assign a technician to source a specific kind of product, you will need to own a corresponding business in the game. So with that being said, here are the 5 types of products that make you the most amount of money and the corresponding business you will need to own. First, assign a technician to cargo and shipments. You will need a CEO hangar or a cargo crate warehouse in order to do so. Next, assign one to sporting goods, which you will need a bunker for. Third is South American imports, which will need a Coca-Cola lockup. Fourth being pharmaceutical research, which you will need a blue stuff lab for, and fifth is cash creation, which you will need a counterfeit cash factory for. If you assign a technician to each one of those products and make sure that you have the equipment upgrade, you will earn about $50,000 total in warehouse stock each hour. Now the best part of the warehouse is that once you have done that and set it up, you don't have to do anything else except for the final sell mission whenever you decide to sell. Because all you have to do once you assign those technicians to those products is to just be in a session. So if you combine those 2 sections of the nightclub, you will be making $100,000 in almost completely passive income every single hour, which is the main reason why it's number 5 on the list. But the only reason why it's not higher is because in order to run the warehouse side of the business, you need to own 5 other separate businesses, which will end up costing you close to $10 million. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we have the auto shop contracts. Of course you will need an auto shop to do them, so the contracts are essentially mini heists with 2 set of missions and a finale. Now there are 8 different types of contracts you can do, and they each take about 20 to 30 minutes to complete as a solo player, but there's one that's considerably better than the rest, and that is the Union Depository contract, because it pays out $300,000 while the rest pay out between 150 to 200 grand. Now each of these contracts have about a 48 minute to 1 hour cooldown, so you can't just do the Union Depository contract back to back to back, but if you were to do the Union Depository contract and 1 or 2 others in an hour, you could be making $500,000 to $600,000. So with that being said, that is why they are in the number 4 spot, because they pay out a great amount of money and I think they are pretty fun to play. Coming in at the 3rd place, we have the Hangar business. This one may shock some of you, but after the most recent buff and update, you can now make about $400,000 to $500,000 per hour as a solo player with the Hangar. Now the way this business works is very simple. You go out to source crates, you bring them back to the warehouse, and then you're able to sell those crates for a profit. Each source mission will give 1 crate and there's a maximum capacity of 50 crates in the Hangar. Now what's made the business so good recently is the fact that they have added land source and sell missions, which are faster and easier than the air missions, especially if you have an aerial vehicle. I recommend using the new Jet, Oppressor Mark II or the Buzzard. Most source missions can be done in 3 to 5 minutes. Cell missions can now be done completely solo because you're only ever gonna get 1 cell vehicle. Now when it comes down to how much money you can actually make, each crate at minimum can be sold for $30,000, but depending on how many crates of each type of product you have, you can actually earn a percentage bonus on the sale. As you can see here, there's a tiered system depending on how many crates you have of a certain type of cargo. Now the best bonus you could get is a 70% bonus for selling either 50 crates of medical supplies, chemicals or narcotics, but there's a better way to run a business so that you can make that $500,000 per hour. So to be as efficient as possible, you will want to choose to source 2 of the highest paying types of goods, which are chemicals, medical supplies and narcotics. It doesn't matter which 2 of the 3 you choose, but pick 2 and alternate between sourcing 1 of each crate. If you do that, after 4 hours you will have 25 crates of each. Once that's done, you can then do an individual cell mission for each, and you could do those cell missions in public lobbies with 25 or more players to take up those sales to $1.5 million each. Those cell missions can be completed in about 5 minutes. Combined, you will make about $3 million for just over 4 hours of work, meaning that you are making about $750,000 per hour as a solo player, which is why it's the number 3 money method on the list. Coming in at the 2nd place, we once again have the agency, specifically the Dr. Dre contract, which can be accessed by having an agency and completing 1 security contract. The Dr. Dre contract acts like a massive heist where you have 3 mini heists and then 2 finale missions, with the payout being $1 million. At the end of it all, you will end up making about $1.1 to $1.2 million for all the setups plus the finale, and it will only take about an hour and a half to 2 hours to complete, meaning that you are making about $650,000 every hour, and that there is why it's number 2 on the list. Now I know it makes a little bit less per hour than the Hangar, but doing the contract is more enjoyable to grind through, plus because you have to get the agency in order to do it, it also means that you will have access to doing things like the security contracts, passive income through the wall save and payphone hits. With that being said, coming in at the number 1 spot for the 10 best ways to make money as a solo player is of course the Cayo Perico Heist, which is by far the best way to make money for any player in the entire game. Now of course you will first need to have a Kasatka submarine to access it, but once you have done that you can then start up the heist. What the heist is in essence is you are sneaking onto a private island, taking loot from all around it before going to a central compound where you take a very valuable primary target. They will need to try to take off unnoticed. It is a lot of fun and there's a bunch of different ways that you can approach it. I didn't do it sneaky at all, I just went in shooting and hoped for the best. There are definitely better ways to complete it, but the most important part of it is of course the payout. You will be making anywhere between $1.3 to $1.6 or $1.7 million for each time that you do it. These are the best primary targets that you can get. I was pretty lucky and got the pink diamond. That's actually the best one that you can get all year. That's because the Panther statue is not available all year. It's a limited time primary target. You will get more money if you complete hard mode. To do the Cayo Perico heist in hard mode, you need to set up the heist within 48 minutes in real time after receiving the message from Pavel. Doing so will transition the heist from normal mode to hard mode. If you also complete the Elite challenge, you will get another $100,000. To complete the Elite challenge, you will need to finish the finale under 15 minutes and make sure that you don't quick restart. So you have to complete it in one go. For people who have done the heist a lot, it should only take about 45 to 55 minutes to complete, but for first timers it could take up to an hour and a half. Either way, you're still making tons of money for the amount of time you've put in, and that is why it's number 1 on the list. It's now up to you and choose which methods you think are the best to do. I hope that this list helped you out. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.